system is that I interview first and then we do a Zoom. But now I'm going to interview afterwards, even though you already know you, but we're going to talk. What I want to do on the Zoom, and you know Devore, you met her before. She was, with me a couple times, and you know all about it. And so this is the only way I can figure out how to do a video, because our technology doesn't work as me being isolated and you being, everybody being isolated. What my interview in the video is, which is the meat and potatoes of this whole project, and I hope it can be shown properly and whatever, is with this pandemic, with this coronavirus pandemic, what have you learned about life? And what have you learned about your own life?
I have learned that life is even more fragile than I ever thought before. Even though I thought that I had a great appreciation for the fragility of it, this has shown me in a much more global, because it is a pandemic, way that we are so vulnerable and we are so unable to completely protect ourselves, and that the delusion of a safe bubble that many of us take for granted as daily normal existence can be broken with a pin in a way that is completely out of the blue, comes by surprise, and turn us on a dime from what our ordinary daily existence is and our sense of ourselves in the world, and it can be shattered in a blink.
And thus, from that, about your own life in this, that's more difficult, a question.
My own life.
Is there a perspective that you see that's different? Is there? You've been isolated, so think about it.
Yeah. Well, being isolated in and of itself feels like so much is lost. And it's not my life, but my own ability to move freely in the world and be out in the world feels like such a loss of connection, and being able to be with the people I love at work, my children, my friends, the ability to just hug. I mean, we take that for granted, and it's so enormous, the power of touch, that we do not think about that on a daily level. We touch people in our existence. We brush somebody's shoulder to say something. We touch somebody's arm. We hold somebody's hand. We kiss somebody. I mean, I was away for a few days and I came home and my daughter and I did not kiss. We did not hug. You know, we're both in isolation, and yet that's just become extinguished from our repertoire of gestures. It's just, we took it away. And so this new normal, while it does not feel normal, it doesn't feel normal. And when I got home and drove, from the highway to my house, seeing people on the streets that I've lived on for 29 years wearing masks, I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. I just thought, what is going on here? Where are we? What's happening? Where is the old world and life that we inhabited? And how and when will we ever be able to safely return to that? And so that feels like a very powerful punch to the gut. It really does. It gets me on a very visceral level of, will we ever be safe? How can we protect ourselves? What is it to be safe? And who can we trust? Who can we actually trust to restore that? And it feels so beyond my own ability that just controlling my own little world has become much bigger than it ever was before. Like, the Lysol is out on the kitchen counter and we're spraying doorknobs and light switches and stuff like that. And so we consciously do those things. but the yearning for the days of yore is so powerful, and I could cry at almost any moment when I let myself think about what we have lost. And I don't believe that we will ever be the same again. And in a way, I hope that we are never the same again, because my wish is that this would change us into becoming more compassionate and more humane and more understanding that we are one as a group of humanity, and connect us more, and take away the isolation and the hatred for the other, and and somehow cause a magical camaraderie to just poof, come out of the pandemic. We'll all be, we'll all be together, and we'll all arm in arm join together and say we made it, And I don't think that's going to happen. But that's my wish, that enough people would be affected to the core, and therefore do the things that would make us the people that we're meant to be. I think of an innocent baby. An innocent baby is not born with politics, is not born with hatred, is not born with, I don't like you because your skin is not the same color as mine. I just wish that this could teach us that. I really wish that. So it sort of brought out all of the heart of me, and at the same time, it's created a tremendous sadness in simultaneously to the wish, because I think the loss of innocence in a way is so profound, and I wish more people really took it to heart in the way that I do, because I think that if that were to happen, we could possibly make a little bit of a shift. I'm not talking about the shift of mankind, because that's not the way emotional evolution works, but a shift would be in the right direction, would be monumental.
Well, don't you think it's interesting we don't talk about war anymore?
Very. Well, we're at war now with the virus.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that thanks an awful lot for what you do to help others. And, all I can say is I hope that we will have an optimistic viewpoint for the future. In the past, with the Second World War, where I grew up, we had fears and what have you, similar in its way. Not here in America, but they did have it in Europe. And we survived, and we were more peaceful. And let's hope, again, this pandemic will teach us lessons.